Hello, my name is Tara Kachaturoff, and I'm the host of Michigan Entrepreneur, where we feature businesses from startup to stellar. Today we have as our special guest Alex Fisher, founder of Commercial Progression. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tara.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on the program today. You have a really interesting story, and we're going to start right in on that. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, or maybe a lot. Let's start in your early years, because you were an entrepreneur from way back when.
Sure, yeah. So I grew up around an entrepreneurial family. My grandfather had an architecture business for probably 50 or 60 years and was actually America's oldest working architect at the age of 101.
That's amazing.
And so my father ran the business, and I would go to the office with him, and he had to computerize the business, so I would learn how to use computers and fix computers. And so I kind of got that kind of taste for technology early on. But I also saw my dad running the business and kind of got that entrepreneurial spirit kind of injected into my blood from an early age.
Now you have your own company.
Yeah. So along the way, I got a degree in computer engineering, and I had a number of jobs with great people and great bosses. I learned a lot about industry and big companies and small. And it just happened that there came a point after the downturn of 2008 where I was working for a startup based on the West Coast, and they had churned through millions of dollars of venture capital. And after the market took a dive, I was out in San Francisco at a meeting with a pretty large client, and during lunch, the full day meeting, during lunch, I got a call from my boss saying half the company was gone, including me. And so I was out in San Francisco. And
hopefully you had a round-trip ticket.
I had a round-trip ticket. I also had a nice dinner that night. And I just kind of thought, what was next? And so I had established a formal LLC just for side consulting work I did here and there. And so I decided to do two things. I set up meetings with people I knew who could do really good work, and I set up meetings with people who had difficult problems they needed to solve. And within 3 or 4 weeks, I had my first 2 or 3 clients, and I had 3 or 4 contractors working for me on those projects, and I was off and running. What I found, though, is as I started learning more about what problems people were facing, the answer kept relating to this thing called Drupal. And I said, all right, what's a Drupal? I had kind of heard the word. I had been in the web world for a long time. I kind of knew a little bit about it, but I started investigating what Drupal could do, how it was architected, how it was a tool and a platform for custom solutions to problems.
For creating sites.
For creating websites and web applications. And I started selling projects that used Drupal. And what I found was that Drupal was really hard if you're just going to do a little Drupal here and a little Drupal there. And so I decided to be competitive, I had to focus just on Drupal and make sure that I could deliver a world-class product for my clients. I had done a couple years of WordPress development on the side, and it's funny because I actually started using WordPress after I looked at Drupal the first time, and I didn't get it. I didn't know how it worked, and I said, I don't need this, I'll just use WordPress. And then I got WordPress to a point where it wasn't architected in a way where I could solve problems the way I wanted to. And so I took another look at Drupal after WordPress. And so I would say WordPress is great software. It's open source like Drupal. I think it just applies to maybe a different problem set than Drupal does. I think Drupal's focused towards large enterprise websites, and WordPress is maybe small to medium-sized websites.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so you're seeing it more used in a different segment in the business world.
Yeah. So for example, the White House, whitehouse.gov is built on Drupal. Economist.com. Locally, TRW Automotive is one of our clients, and we just helped them launch TRW.com on Drupal earlier this year. Yeah, I think you mentioned 2 words: jump and commitment. And so I think that. A few years ago, I started thinking about, what direction do I want to go? And then finally, maybe 2.5 years ago, I think it was over a Christmas or New Year's holiday, I actually spent a week thinking, do I want to go down the route and be a permanent kind of freelancer, one person shop, or do I want to try to build a larger business with, employees and 401k plans and health benefits and all that? And so it was a conscious choice to say I want to go one direction or the other. And for me, I felt like I could have a better impact, and the kind of sites that Drupal's good for would require a great team where the whole's worth more than each individual. It certainly makes a difference when you can bring a team to the table. And I found by having that team, by taking that jump, that the varying opinions that everyone has, the diversity of opinion, it really produces a better end product than if I were just one person doing everything myself. And we found is that the hard part about growing a Drupal shop, or maybe even a web shop or any sort of software shop right now, is it's hard to find developers. It's hard to find developers that have experience and are the right fit for your team and your culture.
How have you found these folks?
It's a full-time job,
Is it?
just recruiting and finding good people, and it comes down to relationships and personality first. We found that we have to develop it in-house, and so we get junior people in, we contract some work to them, and then those contractors eventually become employees, and we've had success with that from employee number one. Part of our culture is, as new employees come to it, they help develop the culture, and so one of our newer hires this year, Brad, started something up called Crockpot Thursdays.
Crockpot Thursday, yum.
And so it goes around the office. Different people on different weeks will bring a crock pot in the morning, put something in it, and then by lunchtime we're all eating Crockpot Thursday lunch. I wanted to form a company where we were profitable from the start. We did work for people, and people paid us to do
Right,
work.
exactly.
And so we've continued that to this day. And so cash flow can be an issue because we don't have $5 or $10 million of venture capital to go
Right,
out and
right.
hire 20 people tomorrow. But by paying close attention and starting during a recession, we've learned how to be very lean and very effective. And the result is that as we grow, everyone does better, and we're finding that we're able to grow, and there's plenty of challenges, but I think we started it the right way to where those challenges were harder in the beginning, but they're not as difficult now. May 7th, we celebrated our 5-year anniversary.
5 years.
It's also my father's birthday. So we actually had a grand opening party at our new office in downtown Northville, and we also celebrated the official 5-year anniversary of the company and had a ribbon cutting ceremony and
That's
everything.
great. And it's nice that you memorialize things like that. It's so important because, tomorrow could be on the cover of Fortune. You don't know where, you don't know. This is how, Apple started somewhere, right? They all
Sure.
started somewhere.
Sure, appreciate that, because it's really easy to sell work and work on code and program all day and have meetings, and if you don't stop to take a step back and actually enjoy being with each other.
Right.
Most of us are with most of our team is with each other more every day than we are with perhaps our wives or families, and so it's really important that we don't waste that time. Money is replaceable, but we
Right.
can't replace time. So
Right.
it's really crucial to me that we don't pull all-nighters every day, and we don't do 80-hour weeks. It needs to be sustainable, and it needs to be a really good fit for the type of life that I want to live, and certainly my employees and partners want to live.
And it's nice that you are creating a culture where people can have it all. You still work hard, but
Yeah.
you want to have some life balance.
You're right. We have a rule: no sleeping at the office. And it certainly goes during the day, but certainly more importantly at night. We don't have a couch bed or anything like that, or any cots, because it's really important that people are able to step away, and it's got to be sustainable. I have to say I'm really proud of the team, because making that jump from just one person selling work to a team where it's above just me or each employee or a single client. I think that the team is a really hard thing to build, and with the right team you can do anything. And so I would say that I'm having a team today is our biggest success, a team that I'm proud of.
And it kind of takes on a life of its own, too.
It
It kind
does.
of just has its own aura of energy that it creates.
Absolutely, and you know what, there's times as an entrepreneur when you maybe don't know what you're doing or don't think you can go another day, and you're not sure how you're going to make it to the next step, and having that team there with you really makes it possible.
What is your advice to entrepreneurs?
Follow your passion. Don't do something just for the money. And I guess, so passion's important, and that word follow or follow through is equally important. If you just follow the trends and do technology A or technology B or business model C, because everyone else is doing it, you're not necessarily going to be as successful as if you figure out what you truly want to do, what you're passionate about, the problems you want to solve, and follow through with those.
Well said. I want to thank you, Alex Fisher, Commercial Progression. Thank you for being a guest on our
Thank you,
program.
Tara.